Hello and happy Wednesday, everybody. So today I've done two videos so far, which honestly, part of my goal in all of this is getting more information, more knowledge out there to people, maybe helping with just a little bit of education as far as coverages and things like that that might be important on your insurance policies. My goal is to stick to it to make sure that it's something that can continue to keep happening. So we've talked about the homeowners a little bit in the beginning, then we talked about sinkhole coverage. Now, today's topic is going to be water sewer backup. So, fun topic, but it is a very important one. So, one thing that's important to know is flood is never covered on a homeowner's policy. Plain and simple. A flood comes through downtown Bethlehem. Yes, I'm from the area because I say Bethlehem instead of Bethlehem. But a flood comes through downtown Bethlehem, and the definition of flood usually is surface water. It's coming across the land and causing damage. Flood is never ever covered. It is strictly excluded on a homeowner's policy. And when we write it, you even sign a form saying that flood is never covered on a homeowner's. It is something that you would have to get on a completely separate policy. Flood insurance usually is reasonable if you're not in a flood zone, because obviously the chances of it flooding is less. But if you are in a flood zone, it can be a little tricky. But the reason I bring up that flood is never covered is because water is always a tricky thing on a homeowner's policy. So one item might be, let's paint a picture here for you. There's a pipe inside your wall and it just bursts. Like, for whatever reason, I don't know. It was hidden inside the wall and it bursts. So it caused all kinds of damage to the drywall, to the wall that the pipe was in, the flooring, your cabinets that were there, just all kinds of damage from the water. So how it would work on a special form homeowner's policy, which ideally is what type of homeowner's policy you would have, a lot of times how they would work it is they would cover the damage that the water causes. Sometimes they don't cover the actual pipe itself because it could have been like a wear and tear item. But that type of thing can potentially find coverage on a homeowner's policy. Water sewer backup is something completely different. So there is not coverage for water sewer backup unless it is endorsed on your policy. So it is not something that a regular, just basic homeowner's policy is going to cover. So the endorsement usually is pretty reasonable on a homeowner's policy, and it is exactly what it says. So let's say you're hooked up to city sewer, live in Bethlehem, and you're hooked up to city sewer, and you have a bathroom on, let's say, ground level, basement. I mean, wherever. Usually it's the lowest one that will back up. But exactly that, the water or sewer, hopefully water, not sewer, but if it's sewer, it's even worse. Let's just say something happens wherever the clog might be, and that backs up into your bathroom. Could have been a beautiful bathroom that you just remodeled too. I mean, that's usually, when it rains, it pours. But basically, it causes damage exactly that, to the flooring, to your cabinet that was in the bathroom, to the drywall, because the drywall is never going to be the same. Ugh, let's be honest. And it causes like a couple $1,000s worth of damage. You have to get it all ripped out, clean, bleached, and then obviously fixed. So that is something that is an endorsement that has to be added to your policy in order to obtain coverage. Many times the limits usually are like $5,000 or $10,000 worth of water sewer backup. So, just something we can discuss and something that, if you have questions on it. But again, it is a coverage that has to be endorsed in order to apply. So again, just a little piece of education, a little piece of information, but something that could be incredibly important in the event of a loss. So thanks, and I hope everybody enjoys this beautiful day out there. Have a good one.